Hey everybody, I'm Sherri Kreps, your spiritual fitness coach. There's a story told about a couple who were going away on vacation and asked their college-age son, who lived in a nearby town, to come and house sit while they were gone. He agreed and brought with him his pet, which happened to be an 8-foot python. During the course of the week, the python somehow escaped. Despite an intense search of the house and even calling in the help of his roommate, the son was not able to find the snake. Sunday came, and he needed to go back to his apartment. He left the following note for his parents. "Hi, Mom and Dad. I hope you had a great trip. Heading back to my apartment. By the way, my python got loose this week, and I've looked everywhere but couldn't find it. Keep an eye out and let me know if you spot him. Love, James." Now, I don't know about you, but I would be making a beeline for the door and would not return until the snake was found. And I certainly would never go to bed knowing there was a snake loose in my house. As scary as this story might be, the truth is that many of us walk around our homes and go to bed each night with things in our hearts and lives way more dangerous than a python. Today, I want to talk about a sensitive subject that is holding many people captive: pornography. While this might have been thought of as a man's problem in the past, there is a growing number of women who are getting lost in pornography and lust. You may be thinking that either this does not apply to you, or you might be asking how this happens. It's important for us to understand that God created us as sexual beings. He created us for intimacy with Him, and we are free to experience intimacy in the confines of a marriage relationship between a man and a woman. God puts these boundaries in place because He loves us and knows what's best for us. So how does one go from being created with a desire for intimacy to dabbling in pornography and then full-blown addiction? Well, no one just wakes up one day and decides that they are going to become addicted to pornography. James 1 says, "Each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death." Following this logic, each one of us has a desire for intimacy. We want to be fully known and fully loved. The need is legitimate and God-given. When that need is not met within the healthy boundaries that He designed, we try and find false substitutes. We are tempted by this desire and are enticed and lured in. We might be tempted to take a peek at something, watch something, listen to something, or go somewhere that we wouldn't otherwise. It starts with the little things we let into our minds. We are surrounded by music, books, magazines, TV shows, and movies that are sexually explicit in nature, which may cause us to lust. The more exposure we have to these things, the more desensitized we get to them. Things that used to make us feel uncomfortable become commonplace. Then they start to permeate our being, and we need more and more to be satisfied. Looking at pornography for the first time to satisfy a lustful desire makes it easier to repeat it over and over. So, how can you win today over pornography and lust? Here are a few thoughts and action steps. First, recognize that your desire for intimacy is created by God. Despite what we might be deceived into believing, only God can meet the deepest longing of our hearts. No person, real or via an image, can. The more we seek to fill our emptiness with pornography, the more empty we will be. Secondly, protect your heart. I cannot say enough about this one. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." What I allow into my heart affects everything I do and the person I become. I need to ask myself if the music I'm listening to, the shows I'm watching, the books I'm reading, the movies I'm seeing, and the websites I'm visiting are moving me closer to Jesus or leading me to sin. Third, if you are tiptoeing in areas that are allowing sexual imagery into your heart and mind, my words of encouragement to you would be the same as Paul in 1 Corinthians 6:18, when he says, "Flee sexual immorality." In other words, run. Don't just casually walk away. Lingering in it will more than likely lead to returning to it. Finally, If you are addicted to pornography, the solution is not just to try harder to get over it. Sin in our lives is never cleansed with more effort on our part. A sin problem is only solved by a Savior. Jesus is the Savior, the one who died on the cross, shedding His blood for our sin because we didn't have the ability to be forgiven any other way. Addiction is a condition of our hearts that only Jesus can break the chain that is keeping us bound. I'm encouraging you to seek help in finding out how to love and trust Jesus more so He can meet the deepest longing of your heart and soul. Now, go win today.